Hello Stampers, Kelly Acheson at stampabove.com coming to you from Menasha, Wisconsin. First of all, I just want to let you know that I am shooting this video and I'm probably not going to air it for a couple weeks or so. So you might hear that I am sporting a really good cold, but I'm sure I'll be over it by the time this video is live. So just bear with me in my nasal tone. I am featuring a brand new suite called Tranquil Textures. I loved this from the get-go. And the thing that really got me on this bundle was the netting, which I think is super cool, and the sand dollars. I was really excited about those because I think you can make some really pretty things with this. That's what I envisioned. I'm like, oh my gosh, this is so gorgeous. And then of course the little octopus is just a fun element, but I really loved all the other elements in this set of framelits. These are called Under the Sea. Our stamp set is called Sea of Textures. And here's a couple. I die cut the net, and I have to say that this comes right out of the die really easily. I put it in my Big Shot die brush and brushed out the little pieces. I love this netting and I can't wait to do some amazing things with this. Isn't this just a cute little card? It's using the Tranquil Textures Designer Series paper. And out of this pack, I've already used this up because I made a swap card out of this pattern of the paper. But we've got just some beautiful designs in here. Here, let me pull this out a little bit more so you can see better. I don't like to pull it out all the way because it's hard to get back in that plastic. But look at all these beautiful designs. This is just textures, and that's what this bundle is all about. It's about textures, and I love textures. Very, very cool. I can't wait to start designing my online class for this because I think it is going to be spectacular. So there you go. It also tells you on the back of the Tranquil Textures Designer Series paper all the colors that match this paper. So we've got our brand new Balmy Blue, Crumb Cake, Fresh Fig, Mint Macaron, Night of Navy, New Soft Seafoam, Tranquil Tide, and Whisper White. So you know what to use. And that's how I design my cards. I look on the back and I say, okay, which colors am I going to use for my base, for any layers, my inks, so on and so forth. So let's get started and I'll show you how easy this card was to make. I always like to bring in my cardstock layers first. I've got my card base, and this is Tranquil Tide. It is 5.5 by 8.5. And if you are following me on YouTube, if you go to the description right under the video, you'll find a link that'll take you right to my blog where you can find all these measurements and details to look at in one place so you don't have to be writing them down if you want to recreate this card. I've also got a layer of Whisper White for the inside. This is 4 by 5.25. I've got a piece of Night of Navy that is 4 by 5.25. A piece of Whisper White that's just 1/8 of an inch smaller. This is 3 7/8 by 5 1/8. And then I've got 3 pieces of the Tranquil Textures Designer Series paper. These are each 1 inch by 4. A scrap of Whisper White and a scrap of Tranquil Tide. Okay, let's get our stamping done first here. I am going to use Night of Navy ink, and I've got that cute little octopus mounted here. I just re-inked my ink pad so it's nice and juicy. There we go, that looks good. And then I'm going to bring in my framelit set, and I'm going to cut out my octopus. And this is awesome because it just cuts it out perfectly. There's no guesswork here. You don't have to try and fussy cut it. And then the other element I'm using is this little, I don't know what you call these under the sea things, reefy thing. You guys, I'm sure you're going to tell me so that if I do another video, I know what to call this. I always appreciate that too, you guys. Okay, I'm going to run these through my Big Shot and I'll be right back. Okay, I love that these literally fall right out of here. And you've just got a few little pieces that stick in there that you poke out so you're ready to go for the next time. And I always like to do that before I put my dies away. Oops, I've got one more here. There we go. And then here's our little reefy thing. I know, I don't know what to call it. And then what I did with this, because I just wanted to kind of draw attention to it, is I used my Wink of Stella. So if you order a Wink of Stella, you're going to find that it comes with this black band in it. And you need to take that black band off and throw it away. I left it so I could show you guys. Screw this back in. And then when you get ready to use your Wink of Stella, you're going to shake it and then you're going to push. It says push here and here. You're going to push on this barrel until you see some liquid come down into this area. Now, if you push really hard, sometimes it will squirt right out and drip, which is fine, but make sure you're not doing it over your card that you're getting ready to make or any elements that you're stamping. You want to do it over a scrap just in case that happens, because you don't want globs of this all over. Now this is the clear Wink of Stella, and when I use it on this reedy or corally, whatever I called it before, I can't even remember. I just like it. Look at how pretty that is. That shimmer is just beautiful. I'm letting my octopus dry a little bit. I see I've got just a couple little elements here that need to come out too. I'll look on the back and make sure all those little pieces are out of there. I'm letting this dry just a little bit, and while that's drying, I'm going to set it aside and we can continue making our card. All right, I want to make sure that I'm using the right front piece, right? And this is the inside layer. I've got these tiny, tiny little words. I stamp them here so I make sure that they're right side up, first of all. And also to kind of get a feel, because if you push these too hard, they don't look good at all. So I like to kind of test run them here and know how much pressure I need to apply to get a good image stamped. And I'm going to stamp that right up here in the corner of the inside layer. And I kind of smudged that one. I moved it a little bit. So we're going to turn that over and try again. And this one looks better. Next, I'm going to bring in, ooh, I forgot to open this up. Let's christen this little puppy. This is our returning mint macaron ink pad. This is a brand new pad. I'm going to open it up and slide it in. That slid really easy too. Some of them slide hard, and if you watched my tip video on using like a little white birthday candle to put into the tracks, just to wax those tracks up a little bit so that these slide real easy. I'm just going to stamp that down there, and then I'm going to bring in my coral thing and stamp that right down at the bottom. And that's just a nice little interest for the inside of my card. You guys know, if you follow me, I like to do a little decorating on the inside of my card. We'll put this right in here and we'll have that part finished. Woohoo, we're on a roll. Okay, next, I'm going to grab the layer that I have here for the white. And again, I'm using the mint macaron and my netting, and I'm just going to stamp that all over. And I usually like to kind of go right down the middle with an image like this and then fill in. That way I know I'm kind of leaving enough room to do that. That looks great. Now we're going to bring in our designer series paper strips, and I'm just going to put my first one right here. You may want to start in the middle so that you get even spacing, but I'm going to do this pretty quickly, so using the liquid glue I'll be able to move these if I need to. And it looks like I did pretty good. And remember, this is the second card I made, so you know, you've got a little bit of experience with how to space these. Then we're going to adhere this to our Night of Navy layer. Told you guys this was a really simple card to make, right? And it is. One thing I should have done before I glued this down is take my own advice. I've got this little greeting that comes in a stamp set. It says, "Thanks for reaching out." And by the way, that tiny one, if you can't see that in the camera, it says, "You're one of a kind." I always love that saying. I should have stamped this before I glued my layers together, because what if I got this crooked, right? Now I've really messed up, but I didn't. So lucky me. Then I'm going to take our new Night of Navy medium baker's twine. This is a little more cordy, I guess is the word I'd use, than our other baker's twine, and a little bit thicker. I really do like it. I thought when I saw thicker baker's twine, I'm like, oh, that's going to be too thick, but it really isn't. I really do like it. I'm going to wrap that around here 3 times and leave enough of an edge or end, tail, whatever you want to call it, so I can tie a bow. Well, let's see how good I can do this. It's always a little harder to tie a bow when you have so many people watching you. I know, I'm alone here in my room, but it's still a lot of pressure, you guys. Nah. Nope, that didn't work. Let's try it again. I'm going to tie this in a knot. I usually say that. Tie it in a knot first. Then you don't have to worry about keeping that tight, because it's kind of hard to do when you're trying to tie a bow and you don't have somebody else's finger there to hold it for you. Okay, there we go. There's our bow. And then I've got my little octopus. Well, let's glue this down first. Our sparkly coral. That's what I'm calling it until somebody tells me otherwise. And then I'm going to bring my octopus in. Oh, we can attach this to the front of our card now. We're ready to roll with that. I'm using just a little bit more glue to make up for the thickness of this twine. I want to make sure my card sticks to my card front and doesn't fall apart, right? Okay, there we go. Oh my gosh, it's so pretty already, isn't it? Can you see the sparkle? Oh, delicious. Okay, now the other cool thing that I did is I took my ink pad and I pressed it. Now these new ink pads are a little stiffer, but they do press ink into the lid. And I am going to color the white parts on my octopus with my aqua painter. Now, because this blue ink is not archival ink, meaning waterproof, you really have to just make one swipe. You don't want to do too many brush strokes because you'll make the pattern bleed, and you don't want that to happen. So notice I'm just doing one swipe with my aqua painter. I'm not going back and forth like you're painting on watercolor paper. So that's just one way you can use your non-archival ink pads with watercolor brushes, aqua painters. Isn't that cute? That just really dresses up my little octopus. Okay, we are ready to finish this puppy off, and I am going to use a regular size dimensional right in the middle here, and then I just wanted a couple little ones. These are mini dimensionals. If you guys don't have some of these, gotta get yourself some because they are super cool. You don't have to cut dimensionals anymore to get the size that you need, and they fit perfectly on little elements like the legs of my octopus. And now I'm just going to put my octopus right in here. And this was actually a card challenge that I sent out to my downline using this particular layout. So you'll also find a copy of this on my blog of this layout, so you can maybe challenge yourself and make a card out of the layout. Okay, you guys, there you go. Sea of texture and under the sea framelets. Tranquil Textures is the suite. It's found on page 154 in the big catalog, the new catalog. And I hope that you will love this as much as I do. Remember, if you don't have a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, I would love to earn your business. You can pop me an email. I'd be happy to send you the new catalog. My email address is kelly@astampabove.com. Make sure you click up here. That'll take you right to my blog where you'll find all the details for this particular project. And don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel down here. You don't want to miss anything I have coming up. Lots of fun stuff in store for you guys with a brand new catalog. Thanks so much for taking a little bit of time out of your day to spend it with me. Bye-bye.